What if the internet disappeared overnight? Imagine going to sleep like any other night. You set your phone on the nightstand, scroll through a few more memes, maybe watch one last video before your eyelids get heavy. You drift off thinking about nothing in particular. Then you wake up the next morning, reach for your phone, and nothing loads. At first you assume it's your Wi-Fi. You restart the router, you restart the phone, you even try switching to mobile data. Still nothing. Slowly, the realization creeps in. It's not your connection. It's the entire internet. Gone. Overnight. The first few hours would be pure confusion. People would walk outside, look around, and ask their neighbors if they had service. Nobody would. Millions of frustrated posts would be drafted, but never sent. Companies would scramble to figure out what happened, and newscasters would be left with an odd problem. How do you report on the internet being down when your newsroom runs on the internet? They dust off the old analog broadcast systems and start talking again to anyone with a TV antenna. Radio stations would suddenly matter in ways they haven't for decades. The chaos would hit fast. ATMs rely on internet connections, so cash withdrawals would grind to a halt. Online banking would vanish, and stock markets completely frozen. Businesses that run entirely online would simply cease to exist overnight. Your favorite streaming service? Gone. Food delivery apps? Dead. Online shopping? History. Within hours, an entire generation raised on the assumption that information is always one tap away would be staring at silent screens, wondering what to do next. Of course, not everything would collapse instantly. Planes wouldn't fall out of the sky. Air traffic control has backups and localized systems. Power plants and hospitals would still function. But coordination across countries would become infinitely harder. Many systems rely on fast, global communication, and without the internet, those links snap. Scientists estimate that within the first 24 hours, billions of dollars would be lost. After a week, the economic fallout could rival a major recession. On a personal level, the shift would feel surreal. People would suddenly have to rely on paper maps to find places, libraries to research questions, and face-to-face conversations to share news. Younger generations might experience something close to culture shock, discovering what it means to live without instant connectivity. Social networks wouldn't just go quiet, they'd vanish entirely. Millions of influencers would lose their stage in a single night, and advertisers would lose their audience. It would be as if an entire digital civilization evaporated, leaving only echoes in local hard drives. But humans adapt. They always do. The first wave of panic would be followed by a wave of ingenuity. Old technologies would resurface. Ham radio operators, once dismissed as hobbyists, would suddenly become the backbone of long-distance communication. Local bulletin boards, community newspapers, and television would regain importance. Engineers would start designing replacement networks, decentralized and offline first, trying to rebuild a global web from scratch. And here's the irony: life might, in some ways, get simpler. Without endless notifications, doom scrolling, and algorithm-driven distractions, people might rediscover boredom, and with it, creativity. Kids might spend more time outside. Families might talk more at dinner. Neighbors might actually meet each other. The absence of the internet wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would be the end of the world we know. Yet the deeper question remains, could we survive long-term without the internet? The answer is complicated. Civilization wouldn't collapse completely, but we'd lose decades of progress in a heartbeat. Medicine, science, global trade, all of it depends on the instant exchange of data. Rebuilding that would take years, maybe Decades. Some experts suggest that in such a scenario, the greatest danger wouldn't be the lack of entertainment, but the breakdown of trust. Without instant fact-checking, misinformation could spread faster than ever. Rumors could topple governments. Lies could ignite wars. The internet's absence would remind us of how fragile truth can be when it has no global stage. So what if the internet disappeared overnight? At first, panic, then adaptation, eventually reinvention. Humanity would survive, though bruised, poorer, and profoundly changed. We might learn to live slower, more local lives, or we might race to build a stronger, more resilient web. In the end, the internet's disappearance would be a strange kind of time travel, hurling us back a few decades, stripping away conveniences we barely notice until they're gone. But one thing is certain, the moment the internet blinked out, every single one of us would feel it. The silence of a world without Wi-Fi would be louder than anything we've ever